Hi everyone. Welcome to the training. This is all going to be about Yellow House Professionalism today. Can everyone hear me if I just talk like this? Okay, great. So, yes, I'm doing Yellow House Professionalism. I'm going to first show you sort of the agenda, what we're all going to go over today. So, just so you know, that's what we're going to start off with. And professionalism in the Yellow House is the first thing on the agenda. So we're going to go over Yellow House team, schedules and punctuality, timesheets and paychecks, performance evaluations, more workplace, workspace specifics. Okay, so the Yellow House, a lot of you will probably know this already since you've been working here for about a month now. But to break down what is happening in the Yellow House, we have 3 offices: Civic Engagement and Leadership, which is Skylar Beal's office. We have the Intercultural Engagement office, which is Phoebe Wynn's office, which houses the Student Diversity Center and the Student Justice Center. And then we have Marta's office, which is the Bystander Revolution Against Violence, or BRAVE office. So that's a little bit of a change. So just so you know, those are the offices that we have in the Yellow House. We also do have an affiliation with Dave as the university chaplain. So we are still working in affiliation with him, and there will still be programs that go through the Yellow House with Dave, but he's no longer housed in the Yellow House. I also want to take this time to note that just so everyone knows we're all on the same page, I'm going to be staying in this interim office manager position until December 13th, at which time somebody else will be put in this position as interim, and then a permanent position will be in July, starting in July. So just so everyone knows, that's the timeline of my stay here and what will be happening next. Next thing, schedules and punctuality. So the Yellow House hours are from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day, or Monday to Friday. And we do that, we start at 9 a.m. and at 12 p.m. because those are the times that you are allowed to be in the office. We don't want you to be there any earlier or during the lunch hour. If you do need to be there for any reason, then that should be for approval beforehand, or for things like needing to pick up the van keys or something like that. You're welcome to be in the office. Being there from 12 to 1 p.m. is sort of a boundary thing for pro staff people to have that time for lunch and to catch up on any work that they might need to do during that time. So that is, as you'll all notice, that none of you have been scheduled from that 12 to 1 p.m. time, so please don't be in the office at that time. Keys. All of you should have keys to the Yellow House now. If you don't have a key to the Yellow House, please let me know, and I can get those ordered or requested for you. And anybody who's on Vivi's team is going to need keys to the SDC and SJC. If you find that you need keys to something else, please let me know as well. Those are all due in June, or at the beginning of June, so you have some time with them. But if you don't return them, there is a fee that will come onto your account. So make sure that you return them. Don't lose them. Don't copy them. All the things. And then I already talked about lunch. And if you have any changes to your schedule, I know it's pretty far into the semester still, or now, but we are still getting a lot of changes, and that's totally fine. Just let me know and communicate with me so that I can get that on the schedule and make sure that I know when you're supposed to be coming in. And also, I'm gonna send out requests for all of your schedules in about a couple of weeks, once you all get your schedule sorted out for next semester, so that we can start planning your work hours for next semester. Some notes about if you're sick or if you're going to be late. If you're sick, obviously you can't plan ahead for that, so let me know when you know. If you're sick, you can't come in, or if you are feeling unwell but come in to work anyway and then decide halfway through that you can't be there anymore, that's okay. Let me know and get rest and take care of yourselves. If you are going to be late, please let me know. Please communicate with me. I am somebody who can take text. You might notice that I don't respond for like an hour because I'm not really paying attention to my phone, so an email might be better, but you can text me. And then if you have a class meeting that comes up during your regularly scheduled work shift, or you have an appointment that you have to go to, please let me know as soon as you know, so preferably 24 hours in advance. There are times when I plan for something to be done during that time, or or I have put you on front desk while I have a meeting. So knowing that ahead of time does definitely change my schedule, and I can plan ahead. So please let me know. Timesheets and paychecks. These are other things that you probably already know already, but just to go over. Timesheets are to be submitted through My Puget Sound by the 6th and the 21st of every month. And all of your supervisors approve those the next day. So they need to be in, because once they're approved, we can only go back if you tell us that you've made changes. We can go back the next day. But beyond that, you'll have to wait until the whole next pay period to get those hours in, and then that will be another, pay cycle before you're going to be able to get the payment for those hours if you miss submitting your timesheet. Does that make sense? Okay. And weekly hours, all of you should have 9 hours per week on your schedule. That might change for some of you depending on specifics with your job, but for the most part, on average, it should be 9 hours a week. And your supervisor should be sending you hours revisions soon. So not all of you are going to be in this situation, but some of you are working extra hours or like have work events, for example, for the chapel team, making it so that if you're not keeping close track of your hours, you might actually be going over and not know it, or vice versa, going under and not realizing it. So we will be sending out in the next couple of days hours revision, just to let you know, oh, you actually have been working 11 hours per week, so you need to bring it back and only work 7 hours per week. So we will all let you know. And if you have any questions about that, please ask me or your supervisor, because we can get access to your timesheets and your number of hours left and do that math for you pretty quickly. Paychecks are issued on the 15th and the last day of every month. This obviously depends on weekends, so it's the day closest to the 15th that's on a weekday. So if the 15th falls on a Saturday, you might not get paid until the following Monday, or it might be on the Friday. Does that make sense? And then these are all direct deposits. Again, you should already know this, but there's not going to be a piece of paper that's given to you. It's going to go straight to your account. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. Next thing is performance evaluation. So it's evaluation season. So tomorrow I'm going to be sending out evaluations, and the way that happens in the Yellow House is we call it a 360 evaluation. So it's a self-evaluation, a peer evaluation, and a supervisor evaluation. These are not meant to be like critiques of you or to make you feel worse about yourself or anything like that. It's just a time to reflect and to see how you've done in your job, and to think about ways that you might be able to grow in this position, and what you might want from us and how we can help you to do that. So this is by no means meant to be something scary. It's meant to be something that can help you reflect and take that time. So you will be doing one-on-ones with your supervisor coming up pretty soon here, just to talk about some of your evaluations that you've done. So that's sort of the purpose of that. The areas of focus will be attitude, professionalism, communication, and initiative. So those are the sections that we found are the most, we had decided are the most important values for these positions that we will be having to reflect on how you've done in your position and ways that you might grow. And those will be, what's it called? They will be come back to in April for you all to look at and to have another conversation with your supervisor to say like, oh yes, I have done all these things. I am excited about how I'm doing in this job, and I have made a lot of improvements, or just have a follow-up conversation to how that's gone in April. All right, workspace specifics. So first one, you will all have read this in your manual, but dress the part. So I'm getting into the part now where I talk about how we are all responsible for welcoming people into the Yellow House. There is a office assistant team, and the chapel assistants do a lot of the front desk stuff. So you may not consider yourself part of the category that has to welcome people into the Yellow House, but it is part of all of your jobs to be there, to be a welcoming face. So dressing the part, really we try to make this a loose statement, but basically no, like we don't want to see your undergarments, and if you have text on your shirt that could be construed as controversial or something that people might not want to see, then if it's a question, just don't wear it, or wear a sweatshirt over it while you're at work. So yeah, dress the part. And next one is shared workspace. So food and drink, we want you to be able to have snacks and to have a coffee at work. But we do draw the line at full meals. So if it smells, if it's spaghetti and it's going to get messy and it's going to smell up the whole office, we either ask that you take that into the kitchen and have a few minutes over there, or just don't bring that into the office space, because that is affecting everyone else in the workspace. Kitchen and dishes, kitchen duties. Tava, shout out to Tava, she created a really cute kitchen duties video, and I wanted to give a moment to watch that, just so that we can appreciate all the work that Tava's done, and also because it is actually very helpful and it's a little micro-learning video for us. So I do want to make a note on kitchen duties. This is not us creating time for people to have a week where they are on kitchen duties. Does not mean that you all can just leave all your dishes for that person to clean up after you. We still want to encourage you to clean your dishes as you go. This is more to catch any strays. So all of us, will drip a bit of coffee here and there, and this is for at the end of the week having somebody come and clean up all of those things that we've done together to make a mess, and just to make sure that we're staying responsible. And the pro staff team are also doing a lot of this work. Y'all might not realize that we do a lot of the cleaning up the kitchen and things like that. So just so you know, it's not just the student staff team that is kept with this responsibility. Maybe did you want to say something?
So the expired food, that's also for the Social Justice Center across the street, so that main fridge in the kitchen. And you will be able to tell if it's expired. There's not a date. So Mark and I just tossed away like 8 moldy boxes, just making sure that you also cross the street when you're on your weekly duty. And hopefully just 1 week per person. So yeah, that's all we're asking.
And this isn't something that you have to maintain throughout the week. It's just a one-time, making sure everything's tidy and clean and moving on with the day. And the good thing about this is if we do this weekly, it shouldn't be a lot of extra work. I know I just said doo-doo. I heard it too. The next thing is computers and updates. So at the end of the day, everybody needs to be turning off their computers, because those computers all need updates, and keeping them on all the time makes them run a lot slower, and we already know that's an issue. So at the end of the day, if you work from, at that 5 o'clock time, turning off your computers is really helpful for everyone else in the office as well. And then clearing your workspace clears your distractions. We all know I haven't been doing this one very well, but making sure that at the end of your shift, just looking around you and seeing if you've left a spare note or a piece of paper or something that is no longer necessary or that you need to take with you. This will help you keep all of your bits and bobs together, but it will also help the next person be able to do their work without being distracted by things around them. And a tidy workspace makes life just easier. So, interpersonal communications. This is more a note on all of you are working in the office together. Sometimes you can have as many as 5 or more people in the office at the same time. There is a lot of communication going on, a lot of people talking over each other at times. So just making sure that you are being kind and caring and clear with your communications. Sometimes you might say something you might not realize that it hits differently, but making sure that you're clarifying what you're saying and checking in with people if you sense that something didn't land right. Because we are all working in the space together. There's a lot of us all trying to get our work done. So. And then personal email and 24-hour response. I send out a lot of email to you all, and so do all of your supervisors. And we are trying to make a rule of sort of 24-hour response, meaning that we expect you to check your personal email every day and respond to our email within 24 hours, because sometimes these emails are time sensitive. Of course, not every single email needs a response, but if you read all the way through and see that there is something that needs your response, please do it within 24 hours. That helps all of us move along with our work. Homework. Y'all are welcome to do homework in the office if all of your other work has been done and you have asked myself and your supervisor if they're available, if they don't have anything else for you to do. If I say, no, I don't have anything for you to do, then that's the time when you're welcome to go forward with doing homework. You are welcome to do homework in the space after checking in with everyone. Music and headphones. You are also all welcome to listen to music in your ears, but it does need to be at a reasonable level. We shouldn't all be able to hear it like sitting next to you. And if I am having to call your name over and over again, then it is too loud. Also, if you are at the front desk or I have asked you to listen for phones for a few minutes, then you also cannot have music playing so that you are able to listen and make sure that people are being able to be welcomed and calls are being answered. Cell phones and texting. Again, cell phones and texting, that always comes up, like you might have to send a text message, you might have to take a call. If it's a personal call, please step out and take that phone call outside of the office. And if you can take that phone call at a different time, please do. The workspace is not meant for personal phone calls, but we do understand that sometimes you do need to take those, so please be mindful of that. Conversations grandma wants to hear. This is a difficult one. No swearing in the office. Less for my sake and for the sake of all of you, and more for the sake of your futures. You won't always be in this office. You won't always be around people who are very tolerant of language. So this is looking out for you all and making sure that you're able to turn off those conversations and that language when you can't, like when you're in a professional setting. So please make sure you're not swearing and not having conversations about a party you went to this weekend or something like that. Also, because we do have visitors coming in, and something you might say might trigger something for them that's very uncomfortable, that's something they might not want to think about, or it's just not really the space for those kind of conversations. If you do find that you need to process something, maybe something that you've done for work, a meeting that you've had, something came up, please feel free to have those conversations. If you have a coworker nearby that you'd like to process that with, there are the SDC across the street, the SJC, an empty office. You're welcome to take a step out for a minute and have those conversations. Or if you want to talk to a pro staff, we are here to be able to do that with you. But open in the office is not necessarily the most appropriate space for those kind of conversations. So again, please be mindful. Facebook and social media. Promotions team especially does a lot of work with social media and Facebook, so you are going to be on those things, and we understand that. But if you can keep any personal Facebook and social media stuff limited, that would be awesome. Our special role. I love that title. I think it's very cute. Okay, so this is not something that has come up for me, but there has been times when parents have called and asked for personal information about students. FERPA is an act. It's a thing that makes it so that students have privacy from people asking for their educational records, for their class schedule, those types of things. So if the information that person is asking for is not something they could find widely online, then it's not something you should be sharing with them. That's really the bottom line of that. If you would like more information about that, you can look up the FERPA tutorial on the Puget Sound website, and it will give you a more clear outline of what that means. And then confidentiality. This goes again with working in a shared space. We do have a lot of students and people coming in who might not want the information that they're sharing, even with the front desk, shared with people outside of the Yellow House. So this is basically just saying what you hear in the Yellow House stays in the Yellow House. You all have signed confidentiality agreements, and we expect that you hold those up. The next one is mandatory reporting. All of you, while you're on the job, are mandatory reporters. If it's outside of your 9 hours a week, then that does not apply to you. Does everybody know what a mandatory reporter is? Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? Maya, you look like you might have a question. Okay, so if you learn while on the job about an incident of sexual harassment, discrimination, or sexual assault, you are required to inform relevant administrators. A lot of you might not ever encounter this because of your position, but I know a lot of you do deal with this type of thing, so while on the job, you do need to report that. If you're outside of it, if you're just talking to your friend at home, then that's not necessary, just on the job. And then I also want you all to know that I started doing something I'm calling a students in crisis training for everybody who is at the front desk often. And so I have a sort of cheat sheet for that, or a guide for that, on the bulletin at the front desk. That should be helpful. If you would like further training on that, I am happy to do that for you. But right now I'm focusing just on the people who have the front desk on their job title. So, but if you'd like further training, yes, Maya. Okay.
So relevant administrators doesn't necessarily mean our supervisors, like Martha or Dave, or
Relevant
for
administrators.
the under the mandatory reporting for relevant.
Oh, yeah. So you can either make that report yourself. So you can go online and find the form and fill it out with the information you know. You don't have to have all the information. You could have just one little tiny piece of it, and you still fill out a report. If you don't feel comfortable filling out the report, or you want to talk about it before you fill it out, you can come to pro staff. Marta is not a mandatory reporter, so if you want to talk to her about it first, but you're not sure if you want to report it, she could be a good person to talk to, because she doesn't have to then go and report it immediately. That's also true with Dave. He's somebody that you can go and process things with without it immediately triggering a report. So if you see something and you're not sure, you can either talk to us, or you can go talk to Marta or Dave. Did I answer your question? Okay. Any other questions about that? Okay. Marta or Bibi, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I would add that it doesn't, coming and talking to me, if someone actually reported to you while you were working, that doesn't absolve you from that you're responsible as mandatory reporter, if that makes sense. So you still have to, even if you were going to talk to me confidentially, you would still have to do that as a mandatory reporter. But you can come back to me together and, but it doesn't absolve you of your role as a mandatory reporter. So.
It's helpful to get that report in as soon as possible if you can, especially given that the nature can range in severity, right? And we leave that to you, but I would hope within 24 to 48 hours, if possible, or by your next working shift. And I do want to delineate with discrimination. If it's not tied to gender-based violence or sexual harassment or sexual assault, it's not mandatory. So if it's a situation of bias, right, or discrimination, you can just talk to me about it if you want to. You can talk to Marta, Isabel, anybody in the office. You don't personally have to file that. So for a report, like a bias-based incident report, those aren't required. They're encouraged. You can definitely talk to me or your supervisor before choosing to do so. So just wanted to make that a little clear.
Any questions? Guest service and front desk management. I'm going to pull up a little cheat sheet that Abby made for us. So, you might not be able to see this super well, but there used to be like 3 pages and a few sticky notes with all this information, but now we have sort of made it a little more concise and put it on one page, and this will be up in the, at the front desk as well. So it's a little cheat sheet of like most of the things that you're going to need to know while you're at the front desk in terms of using the phone. So you have your our contact information if people ask for that, a greeting, what to say when you answer the phone, all the extensions you probably need, and information about how to transfer phones and how to transfer phones to voicemail. You will almost always want to just transfer the phone to a person's office, but if you do want to do it to the voicemail, the situation that might look like is knowing that, like, for say Marta is in a meeting, but that person wants to leave a message, so you can send it directly to their voicemail so they don't have to let it ring. It just goes straight there and doesn't disturb Marta while she's in her meeting. So that's a way to do that. You can also just take a note for that person on a sticky note, and we can get that to them after their meeting. Yeah, so this should be at the front desk, a little guide to how to answer the phones.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back. I just wanted to apologize in advance for the fact that this video did not record the entire meeting, student staff training that we had. However, there are still a few more items that Isabel was going through that I think are still important to highlight. Specifically, we were talking about the USA method for saying no. So the USA is a acronym that is a method of helping us to address someone's needs and understand what they want while also saying no in a way that is both polite and productive. So the USA method involves you expressing understanding. For example, I understand that this project is important to you. The S is to state your situation. For example, I currently have 2 projects I'm behind on right now and both of them are due tomorrow. And A, offer an alternative. For example, I can spend 15 minutes with you now and offer my advice, or we can schedule a meeting the day after tomorrow. I will also insert a little clip here on an example email of utilizing the USA method that I feel was very helpful that Isabel had gone over. Another really helpful tip that Isabel shared with us is the 2-minute brain dump, wherein you just take all of your thoughts and write them down on paper, get everything down, and you make a list of what is most important and what needs to be done today. So this is something that you can utilize when you're at work to make a daily action plan of what needs to be done and what is the most important, and as well as to help you de-stress and unpack all of the problems that you may feel are weighing on you that day. Another thing that Isabel echoed from Helen is something about eating those frogs, which is a method in organizing your thoughts, whereas in those frogs are the hardest things for you to do. And in order for you to eat that frog and or get those things done, you have to make these lists. Something else that Isabel talked about is that we still are required to go to 3 Wednesdays at 6 throughout this entire semester. And if you have not fulfilled those already, please check with Isabel or your supervisor to make sure that you are on the right track. There are currently only a few that are approved for Wednesdays at 6. I will link those in the description box below so that you know exactly what counts and what does not. There will also be some other resources linked, as well as if you check the Google Docs, you will find all of the information that I've uploaded with Isabel's help to be able to make sure that everyone is able to stay on top of everything for the Yellow House. And I just wanted to add that we do have a few more trainings, so you can mark these in your calendar if you haven't already. We will have a training on November 19th, and then there's also a training on January 25th and 26th, which is our spring training. And everyone is supposed to be back for those, but if you have not already scheduled that in, please make sure that you do, and please make sure that you check out all of the other resources that we have available, and Isabel's slides will be uploaded in full to all of the resource documents for you to utilize. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.